A slender breeze drifted through the valley, stirring the glowing white flowers. They released tiny specks of golden pollen that floated upward like drifting fireflies. The sand beneath him warmed slightly, humming in a slow rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Serene whispered in her sleep, her voice barely audible. Light, river, mother. Halia stirred too, stretching her arms softly. Aurelian sat up slowly, brushing the shimmering sand from his cloak. The golden grains clung to the fabric as if reluctant to let go. He walked a few steps up the slope of the valley, careful not to disturb his companion's sleep. From the crest, he looked over the landscape. At night, the desert did not look empty. It looked alive, with dreams, with memory, with quiet stories drifting through the dunes. Far to the east, the horizon glowed faintly with a soft violet mist. Not sunlight, something else. Aurelian's heartbeat slowed just watching it.
Halia still slept as well, her arms folded, her golden anklets quietly chiming with each gentle movement of the desert wind. Aurelian opened his eyes, and the world above him stole his breath. The sky was no longer a simple sky. It was a living canvas. The goddess Nut, so the Egyptians believed, arched over the world, her body forming the firmament itself. Aurelian had read that once, but reading was nothing compared to seeing. The stars glowed brighter now, painting gentle, swirling patterns as though the night itself shifted around him. Every constellation held a subtle motion, almost like slow breathing. A soft river of light flowed between two clusters, twisting like a celestial serpent. Aurelian whispered to himself, "I've never seen anything like this." He felt small beneath her vastness, but not frightened. More like a child standing at the feet of a benevolent giant. Nut's sky didn't make him feel insignificant. It made him feel protected.
Aurelian drifted awake slowly, not suddenly or sharply, but gently, like a leaf rising to the surface of a quiet lake. He didn't open his eyes at first. He simply felt the world around him. Warm sand embracing his back, cool night air brushing against his cheeks, a distant hum vibrating through the earth, calm and steady. It took him a moment to remember he was not in his own world. He was lying in the Valley of Golden Sleep, a sanctuary carved by silence, starlight, and ancient gods. He breathed deeply, and the air itself felt soft, like something woven from moonlight and warm linen. Somewhere close, Serene shifted, turning in her sleep. Her breathing was steady, peaceful, deep.
Halia said, "Rest now. Tomorrow the path shifts again, but tonight the desert holds us." Aurelian smiled faintly. The warm sand beneath him vibrated with a deep, gentle hum, the lullaby of 1,000 ancient nights. His breathing slowed, the sky blurred, the desert softened into quiet gold, and Aurelian drifted into sleep, wrapped in the calm embrace of an Egyptian night watched by the goddess of the stars.
Halia nodded. That is the nature of Nut's blessing. Sleep comes easily here. Serene sat on the warm sand and exhaled deeply. I don't think I've ever felt this calm. The valley hummed faintly, a tone that seemed to adjust to their breathing, slowing it, softening it, guiding it gently downward. Aurelian lowered himself beside Serene. Halia joined them on the other side.
their cloaks wrapped around their bodies as the warm sand cradled them. The sky above remained endlessly vast, not intimidating, but comforting, like a mother watching over her children. A shooting star drifted slowly across the heavens, not fast, not bright, but graceful, like a traveling lantern. Aurelian felt his eyelids grow heavy. Helia lay back, her voice a soft whisper. After a long stretch of quiet walking, they reached the edge of a small valley, shallow and smooth, like a cradle carved into the earth. The sand here shimmered gold, glowing faintly without any visible source of light. It was warm beneath their feet, but soothing, like a heated blanket in winter. Palm trees lined the edges of the valley, their silhouettes swaying gently. Small clusters of white flowers glowed softly, illuminating the sand with a pale luminescence. A low river of mist flowed through the valley like a ribbon of moonlight. Aurelian spoke softly. The dunes level out, forming a wide-open plain where the sand felt cooler and smoother. The night wind grew softer, too, almost timid. Above them, the sky pulsed with silent brilliance. Helia pointed upward. Nut's cloak covers us. She stretches across the sky and protects all dreamers. Aurelian watched the stars more closely now. Their glow felt warmer, more alive, as though they were watching him back, not in judgment, but in gentle curiosity. Serene walked slightly ahead, her footsteps slow and rhythmic. I could fall asleep walking. Their pace matched the desert's heartbeat, slow, steady, peaceful.
When he spoke, his voice flowed like a calm river.
Travelers of distant worlds, walk gently. Your hearts carry threads of many realms. Aurelian felt warmth spread across his chest, a warmth like sunlight filtered through soft linen. Aurelian, are we in danger? The echo shook his head. Not here. This place remembers peace. A wave of relief swept over them. The figure continued, his body shimmering. Beyond these dunes lies the valley of golden sleep. Many travelers find rest there, and dreams shaped by the goddess Nut. Helia bowed her head at the name. Helia, the Sky Mother. She watches all who wander beneath the stars. The echo slowly dissolved into the sand, fading like mist dissolving in the morning light. The humming softened again to its original lullaby tone.
A small gust of wind swept across the basin, and in its path a faint shape began to glow. Soft, golden, like a spirit sculpted from candlelight. Aurelian opened his eyes. The form grew clearer. The tall silhouette of a man wearing a Nemes headdress, the traditional striped cloth of ancient rulers. His figure flickered like warm firelight. Selene held her breath. Selene, whisper. Is that a pharaoh? Helia's voice dropped to a reverent hush. Helia, a memory, not a ghost, not alive, just an echo carved into the sand. The glowing figure raised a hand, not in command, but in greeting, gentle and slow.
So they listened, not with expectation, not with urgency, just with stillness. The desert wind shifted gently, brushing across the crystalline sand. At first, the sound was only a soft hum. Then the hum deepened into a warm tone, like distant chanting. A faint pattern of voices rose, Not words, not clear definitions, just emotion, warmth, duty, courage, peace. The echoes felt like distant memories drifting through time. Aurelian closed his eyes. He lost track of where he was, whether he sat in a desert, a dream, or a time long past. The voices grew a little clearer. Walk with honor. Carry the light. The heart must always be lighter. The desert bowl vibrated gently beneath their bodies, the sound softly entering their bones. For a moment, they were part of the story, not just listening to history, but gently merging with it.
A wide hollow spread out like a bowl carved into the earth. The sand inside shimmered with tiny glints of embedded crystal. The wind passed over it, and the crystals vibrated ever so slightly, producing a soft humming tone. Hum, shum, hum. It wasn't loud. It wasn't sharp. It was like the world's softest, deepest lullaby, ancient and full of memory. Serene exhaled slowly, visibly relaxing. It feels like the desert is breathing. Helia sat down at the edge, folding her legs gracefully. The elders say the sand here remembers the voices of pharaohs, of travelers, of forgotten wanderers. They say if you listen long enough, she swept her hand over the shimmering basin, you can hear echoes of old stories. Aurelian sat beside her, letting his fingers sink into the cool, crystal-kissed sand. It hummed softly under his palm. Can we hear them now? Helia smiled. Only if your heart is quiet.
Something older, something alive, but not dangerous. Aurelian paused, tilting his head. The sound rose, then fell, like breathing. Do you hear that? Helia nodded. Yes, it's the whispering sand. Serene frowned. What is that? Helia walked forward, her gold anklets chiming softly. A part of the desert that remembers voices. When the wind moves just right, the dunes sing. The three followed the sound, climbing a gentle slope until they reached the crest of a dune. And there, below them, lay one of the most astonishing sights they had seen so far.
No one spoke for a long time. Not because they had nothing to say, but because silence itself felt sacred, like a gift. Only the faint sound of their footsteps accompanied them. Soft, rhythmic, steady. Crunch, hush, crunch, hush. Every few moments the wind brushed past, cool and feather-light, lifting the edge of Selene's cloak and swirling around Helia's ankles like a playful spirit. Helia looked up at the constellations. She pointed toward a cluster shaped like a feather. Helia, that one is Maat's constellation, the feather of truth. Aurelian nodded slowly. He'd read about Maat and her role in the weighing of hearts, but seeing her feather glowing in the Egyptian sky, it held a deeper meaning now, more real, more serene. Selene softly, if this is the feather of truth, will it judge us too? Helia smiled, a small, gentle smile that matched the calm of the night. Helia,
The desert night deepened around Aurelian, Helia, and Selene as they walked beneath a sky so vast it seemed to breathe. The Milky Way stretched above them like a river of crushed pearls spread across an endless velvet black horizon. Each star shimmered softly, as if aware of the quiet travelers moving beneath its ancient light. The dunes no longer felt threatening. They moved like sleeping giants, great waves frozen in time, their smooth curves glowing faintly under the moon. Every grain of sand seemed touched by silver, and every step the three companions took left a momentary print that the gentle wind erased with a tender sigh. They were surrounded by stillness, but it was a warm stillness, a kind that soothed the bones and softened the thoughts. No harsh heat, no scorching winds, only calm. Aurelian breathed slowly, savoring the peace.
Your shoulders sink. Your jaw loosens. Your breath deepens automatically. The guardian nods, satisfied. Good, your spirit softens. He looks into the fire. Flames rise slowly and twist into shapes. Mountains, rivers, forests, each rising and fading like memories in mist. This hall belongs to no god, he explains. It belongs to sleep itself. All who enter are safe. All who sit here drift deeper. You watch the flames. Their slow motions hypnotize you, every shape flowing into the next, like a lullaby made of light. After a long silence, the guardian speaks again. You have walked through Greece, where peace begins, through Egypt, where burdens fall away, and now the north shapes your dreams. He turns toward you slightly. But to reach the deepest rest, you must pass one more threshold. He stands, tall and steady, and the hall seems to hum softly in response, as though it recognizes him. Come. You follow him through the hall. The hearths flicker as you pass, each flame brightening slightly, greeting you, acknowledging you. The warmth against your side is constant, like a companion walking beside you. Eventually, you reach a massive wooden door, carved with swirling runes and images of sleeping wolves curled around each other. The guardian places a hand on the runes. They light up one by one, glowing soft blue like frozen moonlight. You will meet someone beyond this door, he says quietly. A keeper of deeper dreams, one who guides not warriors, but the weary. The door opens with no sound. A wave of cool air drifts out, not chilling, only refreshing, like stepping outside into night after a warm bath. You walk through. The room beyond is small, round, and filled with soft, pale light. The ceiling is domed, painted with constellations that move slowly across the surface, as though the sky itself rests indoors. In the center of the room sits a woman wrapped in layers of white fur, her hair long and silver, braided into a crown. A circlet of ice crystals rests on her forehead, but none melt. They glow faintly with cold fire. She is Snera, the dream weaver of the north. Her eyes open slowly as you approach. Gray, deep, calm, ancient. Her voice is soft, like snow landing on quiet earth. You have walked long enough to reach me. She gestures for you to sit on a round fur cushion opposite her. The moment you lower yourself onto it, the cushion warms, shaping to your body perfectly, like the longhouse furs, but gentler. Snera raises her hand. From the air, snow begins to fall, but only inside a small sphere hovering above her palm. The snow inside swirls slowly, peacefully, comforting, glowing faintly blue. This, she says, is the snow of dreams unbroken. It shows the path you will walk next. You lean slightly closer. Inside the floating snow sphere, images form. a frozen lake under shimmering auroras, a long bridge made of frost, and a great white wolf with eyes like stars waiting at the far end. Your breath softens with each vision. Snara closes her hand gently. The sphere dissolves into drifting sparkles. You are ready. She lifts one finger and touches the space between your eyebrows. The touch is cool, refreshing, but sinks into your mind like a single snowflake melting into warm skin. Your eyelids grow heavy. The room blurs softly. The guardian's voice fades. Snara's presence turns into a hum. Your body relaxes deeper than before, a full, slow descent into peace. You will walk the frozen path, she whispers, and meet the wolf who guards the deepest quiet. Snow begins to swirl around you, soft, harmless, comforting. You feel yourself sinking again, downward, inward, into the next dream layer, where the wolf waits.
Warmth surrounds you before sight returns. At first, it feels like drifting in a heavy, soft cloud. No weight, no direction, only calm. Slowly, shapes begin to appear. Not suddenly, but like lantern light growing inside fog. You open your eyes. You are no longer lying on the fur bed in the longhouse. Instead, you find yourself standing in a much larger hall, vast, wooden, ancient, and glowing with deep amber light. This is not a place humans normally enter. This is the hall of endless hearths, a dream hall that exists in the quiet layers between the waking world and the realm of the northern spirits. The wooden pillars stretch upward like living trees, carved with twisting patterns, wolves running in circles, ravens spreading their wings, rivers flowing endlessly. The patterns move slowly, as if they breathe. The entire hall is warm, but not hot. Multiple hearths line the walls, each burning with calm, steady flames that release no smoke, only soft, golden light. Your footsteps make no sound. The fur-lined floor is so thick and soft that you feel as though you're walking on warm snow. A gentle crackle from one hearth draws your attention. Before it sits a figure, broad-shouldered but peaceful, long hair braided neatly, a heavy cloak of silver wolf fur wrapped around his body. His axe lies beside him, but it glows faintly and feels more ceremonial than deadly. He is not a warrior preparing for battle. He is a guardian of rest. He turns his head slowly and looks at you with pale, calm blue eyes. "You walk deeper than most," he says, in a voice like distant thunder softened by snow. "And so the hearth welcomes you." He gestures for you to sit beside him. The stone bench near the fire is smooth and warm, shaped perfectly to support your spine. You sit, and the warmth nods through your body, first your arms, then your back, then your legs, until every part of you feels as if it's being gently pressed by comforting hands. The guardian picks up a small wooden bowl from beside the hearth. Inside is a thick, creamy drink, pale gold, smooth and steaming lightly. It is called Skyr Warmth, a drink made only in dreams. It quiets the restless and cools the mind that burns too brightly. He hands it to you. You lift it to your lips.
The first sip spreads warmth through your throat and chest like warm honey mixed with snow melt. It tastes faintly of vanilla, faintly of mountain berries, faintly of something ancient and soothing.
Wooden benches, covered in furs, line the walls. Shields and axes hang above them, but they are not intimidating, only symbols of a history that now sleeps, resting with the warriors who once held them. The Volva guides you toward the fire. "Sit," she says softly. You do. The fire's glow dances gently on the wooden walls, making the whole room feel alive with warm light. A pot hangs above the fire, filled with a sweet-smelling herbal brew. The scent is soft, honey, pine, mint, and something older, earthier. She ladles a cup and hands it to you. You drink. The liquid is warm, smooth, soothing. It slides down your throat and spreads through your chest like thick sunlight. Your shoulders instantly loosen. Your thoughts settle. "It calms the spirit," she says, "and opens the road to deeper dreams." She sits opposite you, studying you with kind eyes. Eyes that have seen storms, wars, and winters, but carry no bitterness, only wisdom. You have walked with Hypnos and with Anubis. Now you walk under the wings of the northern spirits. They welcome you. A soft wind brushes against the long house walls, but the sound is peaceful, like snow being pushed aside by a traveler moving slowly, carefully. The Volva reaches into a wooden chest and pulls out a small leather bundle. She unwraps it to reveal a handful of shining white stones, smooth as river pebbles. These stones, she explains, hold the memory of winter nights long past. They calm the restless heart. She places one in your hand. The stone feels warm, not cold, radiating a soft, steady heat, as though it had been resting near the fire. When you close your fingers around it, your breathing deepens. Outside, wind carries a new sound, a long, distant howl, not frightening, but mournful and beautiful, like a wolf singing to the sky in slow, haunting notes. The Volva listens, eyes half closed. They sing for Tis tonight, for you. The fire shifts. The flames stretch upward, revealing swirling shapes within, shadows and light threading together like woven cloth. "Come," she says softly, "you must lie down." She leads you to a sleeping area at the back of the longhouse. A bed made of thick, soft furs waits for you. Wolf, bear, elk, all layered to create a nest of warmth heavier than blankets. You lie down. The furs embrace you instantly, shaping around your body. Your muscles sink. Your breath slows almost involuntarily. The Volva drapes an even heavier fur over you, one that smells of smoke, pine, and the cold air of distant mountains. She places her hands gently on your temples. Her touch is warm and steady. Tonight you dream through the eyes of the north. The fire crackles softly. Snow falls like drifting feathers outside. The stone in your hand glows faintly, pulsing with your heartbeat. Your eyelids grow heavy. The world softens, and the Volva's voice becomes a slow, soothing hum. Rest. Sink. Breathe. The winter welcomes you. Your thoughts drift outward, like smoke in a quiet room. You are falling, not down, but inward,
deeper into warmth, deeper into silence, deeper into sleep. And the northern world begins to form around you.
Your skin, the warmth of the Egyptian desert fades slowly, peacefully, and a new world forms around you with the softness of falling snow. You stand on a wooden platform outside a longhouse. The structure is tall but humble, made of aged timber that smells of pine and smoke. Its roof is covered in thick thatch, layered like fur to guard against winter winds. Soft yellow light spills out from small windows, glowing like candles in the dusk. Snowflakes drift downward, slow as feathers. Each flake is large and peaceful, swirling in quiet arcs. None land harshly. They meld on your skin like tiny warm drops, leaving no chill, only a feeling of calm. The sky above is a deep twilight blue, as if early evening has stretched itself into eternity. Faint ribbons of green shimmer in the distance, the first hints of the northern lights, moving like slow breath across the horizon. A figure stands at the doorway of the longhouse, a woman, wrapped in thick gray furs, her hair braided with small wooden beads. Her posture is strong, but her eyes are soft, warm, knowing. A vulva, a seeress, a dream walker, a guide of quiet winters. She steps forward, boots crunching softly in the snow. You have walked far. The gods brought you through gardens and deserts. Now they bring you to rest beneath the northern sky. Her words fall into the air like warm breath. She extends a hand. You take it. Her palm is warm, steady, grounding, like holding onto a living fireplace. She leads you into the longhouse. The moment you step inside, warmth envelops you, thick, heavy, comforting. A fire burns in the center pit, crackling quietly. The smoke rises in thin, slow lines toward a hole in the roof where it escapes into the twilight.
Warm air rises around you as gently as a comforting breath. The soft Greek garden fades behind you like mist, leaving no edges, no sharpness, only a warm transition, as if you were stepping deeper into peace rather than into another place. You find yourself standing at the edge of an endless Egyptian desert, but it is not the harsh, burning desert of daytime stories. This is night desert, dream desert, a land that rests, breathes, and welcomes. The sand glows with faint silver, illuminated by a sky filled with more stars than you have ever seen. Millions, silent and steady, each one glimmering like a soft candle far away. There are no winds whipping the dunes, no sharp grains biting at your skin, only warm, slow, soothing air brushing gently across your face. You take one step forward. The sand gives beneath your foot, not sinking, but cradling, like a warm bed that shapes itself to you. It feels as though the earth has loosened its tension, relaxing just to hold you gently. Far away, at the crest of a low dune, a figure stands. Tall, calm, steady. Dark silhouette, jackal-headed, with eyes that glow amber like lanterns in the night. Anubis. But his presence is not fierce, not judging, not heavy. He carries peace with him, the peace of ancient temples, the peace of long-forgotten prayers whispered at twilight, the peace of someone who guides souls not into fear, but into rest. As you approach, he raises his hand, not to stop you, not to warn you, but in quiet greeting. The gesture is slow, warm, respectful. You feel no fear, only protection. The desert around you softens even more, as though the sand itself bows to the guardian's presence. "Welcome," Anubis says. The sound of his voice is deep, but gentle, like a cello played softly in a vast, empty hall. His tone carries no threat, only calm, like someone speaking to a child drifting into sleep. "You have walked far, through gardens of peace. Now you enter the land of stars. Here you will rest deeper." He turns, and the movement is pure grace, slow, flowing, like cloth moving under water. "Follow." You do, not because you must, but because the world seems to move that way. Your feet step forward on their own rhythm, softened by the warm, forgiving sand. The two of you walk across the quiet desert. There is no sound except the hush of sand shifting gently beneath your steps. Even the sky seems to breathe gently above you, stars pulsing softly, as if singing a song only the desert can hear. Time feels different here, longer, slower, wider, as though every second stretches softly into comfort. Anubis leads you to a place where the dunes part into a shallow valley. The sand here glows more strongly, almost white gold, like soft moonlight poured onto the ground. It seems to illuminate itself from below, as though ancient power sleeps beneath the surface. At the center of the valley lies a long river of light. Not water, light. It flows slowly, shimmering like liquid stars, tracing a quiet path across the valley floor. Its soft glow reflects upon the dunes, painting them with silver-blue hues. Anubis kneels beside the glowing river and touches its surface. The light ripples outward, each ripple rising like a gentle wave. "This river," he says quietly, "is not for crossing. It is for remembering." He motions for you to kneel. You lower yourself slowly onto the warm sand. It cushions your legs, shaping around you like a soft mattress. The warmth rises through your body, loosening muscles you didn't know were tense. Anubis dips his hand into the glowing river and lifts a handful of shimmering light. It drips slowly through his fingers, falling back into the current like droplets of liquid moon. "Close your eyes," he tells you. You do. The moment your eyes shut, the world grows even softer, dark, warm, like sinking beneath comforting blankets. You feel Anubis touch the center of your forehead with a single glowing drop. It spreads warmth instantly, down your face, across your scalp, along your neck, down your spine, traveling through you like a peaceful tide. Your breath slows, your mind empties. Your body feels heavier, but in a pleasant, grounding way. This river carries away the weight you bring from other worlds, Anubis murmurs, his voice low and soothing. Let it leave you. Let the desert hold it. And you do. You feel something lift from your chest, something heavy, something old, something tired. It rises like dust on a slow breeze and disappears. Not violently, not suddenly, softly, gently, with respect. You inhale. The air tastes clearer, smoother. When you open your eyes again, you see the glowing river brighter than before, alive, flowing, whispering with soft light. Anubis stands slowly. It is time to walk deeper. He gestures toward a distant horizon where a faint golden glow rises like the first idea of dawn, though the night remains strong. You rise as well. The sand holds you, then releases you with ease. As you walk again beside Anubis, the valley widens. The night wind carries scents of desert flowers, soft, sweet, unexpected. They bloom only at night, opening their petals to the stars. Small white blossoms appear along the way, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Their fragrance is calming, almost hypnotic. You inhale deeply, and your thoughts become softer still. Ahead, the dunes part in to reveal an oasis. But this oasis is not a green water and tall palms. It is a mirage of dreams made real, a pool of still, luminous water reflecting the stars perfectly. Its surface is so smooth it looks like polished glass. Anubis stops at the edge. This, he says, is the oasis of memory's rest. He kneels again, and you follow. The water emits a cool blue glow, gentle, relaxing, rhythmic. The surface vibrates slightly, like the slow breathing of a sleeping creature. Place your hand on the water, Anubis says. You do. The moment your fingers touch the cool surface, the glowing water shifts. It shows you shapes, distant, soft, blurred like dreams half remembered. You see a younger version of yourself sitting in a quiet place. You see moments of calm, moments of childhood peace, moments when life felt simple. Not vivid memories, just impressions, feelings, the warmth of the past without the shortness. They drift by like soft clouds in slow motion. The water hums quietly. Your heartbeat matches it. Your muscles soften even more. Anubis speaks softly. These are the pieces of yourself that remain when all burdens are set aside. These memories will guard your sleep. He places his hand beside yours, touching the water gently. The water glows brighter. Your eyelids grow heavy. The oasis shifts again, revealing a new image. A doorway of golden light standing in the desert, tall and inviting. This is where
Night descends not suddenly, but like a warm, soft blanket drifting down from the heavens. You feel it before you see it, the way the air becomes gentler, the world quieter, the light softer around the edges. You are standing at the threshold of a Greek sanctuary, an ancient garden untouched by time, as if preserved inside a dream. Olive trees rise around you like guardians of peace, their leaves silvered by the low moonlight. They sway in a breeze that barely exists, hardly more than a breath, yet enough to make the trees whisper. Everything here moves slowly, patiently, without rush or urgency. You sense immediately that in this place nothing will disturb you. No danger, no noise, no sharp edges, just calm, deep, velvety calm. A stone path lies before you, its tiles warmed by the last memory of the day's sun. You place your foot on the first stone, and the simple touch grounds you.
The world outside, its chaos, its movement, its heaviness, falls away like dust gently shaken from a cloak. The path is lined with small clay lamps, each burning with a tiny flame. They flicker softly, but never fade. Their warm glow pools onto the stones like melted sunlight. You inhale slowly. The air smells of laurel leaves, ripe figs, and something else, an ancient sweetness you can't name, but it makes your chest loosen and your shoulders relax without thought. You walk. Each step feels like you are sinking deeper into a dream, not downward, but inward, toward peace, toward stillness, toward a center you didn't know you had lost. Somewhere far off, a lyre is being played. The melody is simple, barely more than a few drifting notes, but they echo through the garden like warm ripples through quiet water. You follow those notes instinctively, not because you must, but because they welcome you. They hum in your bones, gentle as a lullaby. As you continue, the trees part around you, forming a natural archway. Above the arch hangs a lantern, golden, suspended by nothing. It glows steadily, lighting the path ahead with a soft, honey-colored warmth. The lantern's glow seems alive, pulsing faintly with each breath you take, as though it recognizes your presence. You pause beneath it. The world grows even quieter. The lantern sways slightly, as if greeting you. A warm breeze brushes your cheek, faint, tender, like a hand made of wind. It guides your gaze to the right. There, beside a small pool of still water, stands a marble figure with wings folded behind its back. Even from a distance, you sense the softness of its form, the gentle curve of the wings, the way the eyelids are sculpted, half closed, the peaceful tilt of the head. You know who it is without being told. Hypnos, the ancient spirit of sleep. But he does not look like a god waiting for worship or fear. He looks like someone who has been expecting you for a long time, quiet, calm, patient. As you step closer, the air becomes heavier in the gentlest possible way, like warm blankets layered over tired limbs. You feel pressure leaving your body, not entering it. Your thoughts loosen. Your breathing slows to the rhythm of distant waves. Hypnos lifts one hand slowly. In his palm rests a tiny silver feather. It glows faintly, as if made of moonlight. He does not speak. Words are too heavy for this place. Instead, he lets the feather lift from his hand and drift upward. You follow its rise with your eyes as it floats, weightless, peaceful, spinning slowly in the air. The feather passes above your head, and as it does, a wave of serenity flows through you so powerfully and so gently that your knees almost soften. For a moment, everything, every memory, every worry, every expectation becomes light. Not gone, just softened, like stones smoothed by endless tides. The feather continues upward, vanishing into the canopy of leaves. Hypnos lowers his hand. Then, with a gesture barely more than a breath of movement, he turns toward another path. A new corridor of trees reveals itself, a walkway lined with laurel, fig, and pomegranate. A faint golden mist drifts across the entrance like a slow-moving veil. The path glows gently, just enough to guide you onward. Hypnos does not walk ahead of you, he walks beside you. You feel no fear, no worry, no pressure to speak, move quickly, or understand anything. All you feel is a deep, warm invitation to rest. Each step feels like dreamlike, soft, cushioned, slow. The ground almost seems to lower itself beneath your feet, so you never have to fall onto it. The leaves above sway in perfect rhythm, as if they breathe with you. The air is filled with the faintest sound of drifting lyre strings, each note spaced far apart, giving your mind vast space to relax into. The path opens into a field of tall grass, bathed in moonlight. The blades sway in perfect unison. The sound they make is a long, gentle hush, like the sea against soft sand. You walk through them, feeling the tips brush your fingertips like silk threads. Ahead, a small circular clearing appears, centered around a stone fountain. But the fountain doesn't pour water. It pours light, liquid silver that falls in slow, quiet streams. You approach it. The silver water glows brighter as you come near, and the air cools slightly, refreshing your lungs without chilling your skin. You lean closer, watching the light cascade. Each droplet seems to contain tiny worlds, specks of stars, drifting shapes, fragments of dreams belonging to people you will never meet. You dip your fingers into the pool. It is neither cold nor warm, just perfectly soothing, like touching the memory of water. The light wraps around your fingers, climbing slowly, curling like mist around your skin. Your breathing deepens further, your eyes grow heavier. Hypnos touches the edge of the fountain. The silver ripples. Then a doorway of light slowly forms on the far side of the clearing, soft, golden, like morning sun filtered through silk curtains. The god turns to you, his face serene, his eyes half closed in eternal peace. He does not command you, he does not push or lead, he simply waits, giving you all the time you need. When you are ready, you step toward the doorway. The moment you cross its threshold, the Greek garden dissolves, not abruptly, not with noise, but like a watercolor blurred by a gentle hand. The warm air turns warmer. The scent of laurel melts into desert wind. Soft golden sand begins to form beneath your feet. Your journey into Egypt is about to begin.
At the top, the hill flattens into a round, smooth platform made of starlight-packed sand. A single star floats at the center, small, soft, glowing with a familiar warmth. The same warmth you've always felt in moments of safety or peace or quiet dreams. Astriel stands beside you. This, they whisper, is yours. The star pulses gently, once, twice, like a slow heartbeat. The valley grows absolutely silent. Your eyelids grow heavier. Your breathing slows. And the star slowly drifts toward you, soft, warm, calm, like it is returning to the place it belongs. It stops right in front of your chest, waiting, glowing, resting, ready. Your star is ready to breathe. Your heartbeat slows again, matching the rhythm of the valley. Deep, steady, calm. When you open your eyes, Astriel is smiling softly. Follow me, they say, as they turn and begin walking deeper into the valley. You walk beside them. The ground glows softly with each step, the stardust swirling gently around your feet. The valley grows quieter the deeper you go.
Even the breathing hum grows softer until you almost feel as if you are floating rather than walking. Ahead, a gentle hill rises from the valley floor, a hill made entirely of sleeping stars, each one glowing faintly like a pile of warm pearls. Astriel gestures to the top. There, they say, you will see what your resting star truly looks like. Your footsteps slow. Your breath deepens. Your mind quiets as you begin climbing the soft, glowing slope. Each star beneath your feet hums faintly, like a tiny lullaby. You feel something inside your chest respond to it. A tiny, quiet place, stirring softly. Astriel watches you carefully. You carry something similar, they say. A star within your mind that has not yet been allowed to rest. Their hand rises, not touching you, just hovering in the air near your heart. Light glows faintly between their palm and your chest. May I help show it to you? Astriel asks in a voice so soft it melts into the air. You nod once. Warmth spreads from your chest, deep, gentle, steady, as though a light that has been hiding finally steps forward. Behind your closed eyes, you see a faint glow, not something new, but something familiar. Something that has lived inside you for a long time, but never had space to breathe. Astriel's voice drifts around you like a warm breeze over still water. Everyone carries a resting star. Often they bury it beneath worry, fear, noise.
A star no larger than your palm. It floats between Astriel's fingers, its surface slowly pulsing with warm silver light. This star once belonged to a dreamer, Astriel says. A human who carried too much weight. When they finally released it, the star came here to rest. They offer the orb to you. Would you like to hold it? You hesitate only for a moment before nodding gently. The star drifts from Astriel's fingertips and floats toward your palms. As it settles into your hands, its warmth spreads through your skin. Not hot, not cold, just perfectly warm, like holding a cup of tea in a silent winter morning. The light from the star expands, slowly forming faint images in the air. A child laughing, a peaceful sunset, a quiet morning rain, someone sitting by a window, lost in thought, but not in sadness. Moments of simple calm. These, Astriel says, are the dreams it once carried. Soft dreams, gentle dreams. The star pulses once, as if breathing.
The light softens, and you step out into a world that looks like a sky turned upside down. A vast valley stretches before you, but the ground is dark, deep blue, like night sky thick enough to walk on. Above you, instead of sky, an ocean of glowing dust swirls slowly, as if galaxies have been poured over your head like shimmering sand. This is the Valley of Resting Stars. Silence rules here, but it's a peaceful silence, the kind that makes your lungs relax and your shoulders soften without you even noticing. Far in the distance, stars drift downward like feather-light snowflakes, landing gently on the valley floor and settling into the surface as though they are falling asleep too. You take a single step into the valley. Your foot sinks a fraction of an inch, not sinking down, but sinking through the surface, like stepping into soft night. When you lift your foot, the place where you stepped glows briefly with a soft silver footprint that slowly fades. Every step you take leaves a silver trace that disappears gently behind you, like the valley is acknowledging your presence and then protecting your path by hiding it again. A soft humming rises in the distance, a sound like beep wind mixed with someone whispering from very far away. But it's not a voice, it's the valley breathing. The air glows faintly with floating dust, stardust that drifts lazily, brushing your arms like warm static. You feel tingles down your spine, not alarming, just soothing, as if the dust is quietly removing the tiny stresses that cling to your body. Then you see movement. A figure approaches slowly from the far edge of the valley, walking as lightly as you, barely leaving a mark on the glowing surface. As the figure draws closer, you see that it is tall and robed, its cloak swirling with images of constellations that shift like living patterns. The figure's face is partly hidden by a hood shaped like the crescent moon. Light pours from inside the hood instead of shadow, a soft white glow like the heart of a star. The figure stops a few steps away and inclines its head slightly. "I am Astrael," they say, their voice a gentle blend of male and female tones, like all voices speaking softly at once. "I am the keeper of sleeping stars." They lift their hand, and a small glowing orb appears.
Behind one of the 4 seasonal doorways, a soft silver-blue path begins to glow. That path leads to the Valley of Resting Stars. It is where dreams grow weightless. The chamber dims slightly, its lights lowering like a room preparing for sleep. You may go whenever you wish. Your footsteps carry you forward, slow, effortless, into the soft glow of the path. The air grows even calmer, even quieter, even softer. Every breath feels like sinking deeper into warm water. You step into the silver-blue passage, and the world fades into starlit mist. The silver-blue passage narrows around you, but not in a frightening way, more like a soft tunnel of velvet fabric gently guiding you forward. The floor beneath your feet feels weightless, as if each step is cushioned by a thin layer of glowing clouds. Your breath echoes faintly, slowly, as though the tunnel itself is inhaling and exhaling with you. The walls shimmer with scattered points of light, tiny drifting sparks like starlight caught in water. You reach out a hand. The lights drift toward your fingers, touching your skin with a faint coolness like brushing snowflakes that never melt. And then the tunnel widens.
This one is different. Its pale blue glow is cool but soothing, like placing your hands into calm water after a long day. When its light touches your mind, everything inside you goes completely, utterly quiet. Thoughts slow, breath deepens, noise stops. It is the quiet of snowfall in the middle of night, the quiet of a forest where even the wind is sleeping, the quiet inside your chest when you are finally safe. Winter brings true rest, the voices say softly. Nothing to fight, nothing to fear, nothing to carry. Your entire body seems to settle into itself, like a blanket falling perfectly over your skin. When the winter mask lifts away, you feel transformed, as though the 4 seasons have rearranged your breathing into something peaceful and balanced. The robed figure steps back. You are ready for what comes next, they say gently. Beyond this chamber lies the place where time slows so much it almost stops.
The mask of gentle release. It glows amber, the color of falling leaves under soft, fading sunlight. As its light brushes your mind, you feel a looseness in your chest, as though something you've been holding for a long time finally sighs. A soft breeze moves behind you, though there is no wind here. It carries the scent of dried leaves and quiet endings. Autumn teaches that letting go is not loss, the voices whisper. It is clearing space for rest. You exhale, a long, slow, deep exhale. And it feels like that breath has been waiting inside you for months. The amber glow slowly fades. Finally, the 4th mask approaches, the winter mask, the mask of deep stillness. Your shoulders loosen, your jaw unclenches, your heartbeat slows. You carry old tensions, the 4-voiced figure murmurs. Let spring soften them. The green light spreads through your chest like warm mist, slow, gentle, a feeling of renewal, like the first breath you take after rain ends. When the spring mask lifts away, you feel lighter, not in body, but somewhere deeper. The 2nd mask glides forward, the summer mask, the mask of steady strength. Its golden glow surrounds you in a circle of warm, comforting light. The warmth is never harsh, more like sunlight filtered through clouds at the calmest part of day. You feel the light enter your arms, your hands, your spine. No heat, just the sensation of being supported, as though invisible hands are holding your back to keep it straight without effort. Summer reminds you that endurance can be peaceful, the voices say. For a moment you feel yourself standing on a quiet shore, waves rolling gently, the air warm and smooth around your skin. The warmth lingers even after the summer mask withdraws. Then the 3rd mask rises. At the center of the chamber stands a tall, robed figure made entirely of glowing threads of light, gold, white, blue, and green, braided together like flowing hair. 4 masks rest around their head, each floating just above their shoulders. Spring, soft green jade. Summer, bright gold. Autumn, amber orange. Winter, pale blue crystal. The figure's voice emerges as 4 voices speaking in perfect harmony. You enter the place where seasons are memories, they say, and memories become rest. They raise a hand. The 4 masks rotate slowly, and then one mask glides toward you. The spring mask, the mask of beginning calm. It hovers in front of you, its jade surface glowing softly. Place it upon your spirit, the figure says. You close your eyes. The mask doesn't touch your face. It simply presses gently into your mind, like a soft breeze entering an open window.
Green light unfurls behind your eyelids. You hear the faint sound of young leaves, soft footsteps on grass, new rain on soil.
The river's whisper fades behind you as you walk toward the glowing mist archway. Each step feels lighter, as though the air itself is holding a small part of your weight so your feet barely touch the ground. The archway shimmers, not steady, but gently pulsing, like a calm heartbeat made of moonlight. As you pass through it, the air cools slightly. Not cold, but just the soft coolness of early morning or late evening. A soothing kind of chill that wakes the skin, but relaxes the mind. Light expands around you, silver at first, then slowly warming into soft gold. When your vision settles, you find yourself standing in a vast circular hall. This is the Chamber of Forgotten Seasons. It's neither Greek, nor Egyptian, nor Viking. It is older than all of them, yet it belongs to all of them at once. The chamber's ceiling arches high above you, painted with swirling constellations that shift slowly, like drifting clouds made of stars. The walls are divided into 4 tall doorways, each leading to a different season. But the seasons here do not exist like in the real world. Here, they represent states of mind, emotions, burdens, and peace. The air is almost impossibly calm. No movement, no wind, no sound except your own slow breaths echoing softly.
You carry pieces of every realm, he says, and because of that, the river trusts you. The blackbird on his shoulder opens its wings and lets out a soft, melodic cry, not eerie, but soothing, like a deep flute. The next path will be harder, Ryan says. Not dangerous, just deep. The olive trees, the marble pillars, the statue of Hypnos glowing in gentle moonlight. The god of sleep places a hand near your shoulder, not touching, just close enough to calm your breath. Deeper, he whispers. The vision dissolves again. The dream wolf resting peacefully, its breath forming tiny clouds, its silver eyes warm and protective. It looks at you with recognition. You again, brave one. The vision fades. The stone falls softly into your palms, warm now, like a living heart. Ryan nods. Deeper than anything you have walked so far. He turns toward a faint, glowing archway further down the riverbank, where mist gathers and swirls like a doorway made of moonlight. Beyond that arch lies the Chamber of Forgotten Seasons, he says quietly, a place where time slows, where your mind rests so deeply it almost forgets it is dreaming. He looks at you one last time. Are you ready? The river glows, the wind stills, your eyelids grow heavy. The glowing arch calls to you like a faint lullaby, and slowly, softly, your feet begin to move toward it. Do not fear the echoes, he says. They have no teeth. They only whisper. The white bird on his shoulder hops down and lands on a stone near your feet. It tilts its head, studying the river. Rayon raises his staff. A thin ribbon of glowing water rises from the river and curls into the air like a living thread. Inside the thread swirl thousands of tiny lights, memories, dreams, half-formed futures. This river flows through every realm, he explains. Greek, Egyptian, Viking, and all the others you have yet to touch. You watch the ribbon of water swirl. It hums softly, like a lullaby sung from far away. Rayon's eyes soften, as if he sees something inside you. There is something the river wishes to show you, he says. Step forward. You take a single step toward the edge. A pulse of pale blue light spreads across the surface. Then a smooth stone rises from the river, lifting itself until it floats in the air before you. It is shaped like a small oval crystal, but its surface ripples gently, as if made from liquid glass. Touch it, Rayon says. Your hand rises slowly. The moment your fingertips brush the stone, your surroundings dissolve into soft blue mist. You hear the river's slow heartbeat, and then a vision forms. You see a vast desert under a purple sky. Egypt, familiar, warm. Thoth stands beside a shining obelisk, his ibis head bowed in calm understanding. You have walked far, and your echoes gather strength.
But soft echoes of forgotten thoughts, dreams you once had, ideas that never fully formed, moments that almost happened. Every time the river moves, the surface shimmers like silk, and the echoes glow for a moment before fading. A gentle breeze moves across the water, cool, refreshing, carrying the faintest sound of distant voices, not real voices, just tiny fragments of memory. Footsteps sound behind you, light and deliberate. You turn. A man in flowing blue robes approaches. His hair is silver, though his face looks young. A staff of polished river stone rests in his hand. On his shoulders sit two small birds, one pure white, one deep black. He stops a few steps away and bows his head slightly. I am Rayon, the keeper of echoes, he says in a voice soft as river mist. You have walked through many dream paths. Now you stand at the river that remembers all paths at once. He motions toward the water. Here lies everything you nearly became, and everything you still might. You step closer to the river's edge. A ripple glides across its surface, and suddenly, for a moment, you see yourself as a child running through a sunlit field. The image vanishes like a soft breath. Another ripple, and you see a moment where you almost made a different choice in your life. Not a painful moment, just a small, gentle one. A path that led somewhere else. Rayon watches you calmly.
The warmth of the dream wolf's fur fades slowly, not abruptly, like letting go of a soft blanket in the morning while still half asleep. You feel yourself floating again, drifting through a long tunnel of gentle blue light, as if your whole body is suspended inside a blowing glacier. There is no cold, only calm. Your thoughts scatter like feathers, then settle again in new shapes, quiet, peaceful shapes. Gradually, a sound reaches you, a soft one. Water. It is not rushing, not roaring, just a slow, steady flow, the kind of sound that can lull anyone into sleep. Light brightens around you, and you find yourself standing on soft sand, not beach sand, but sand so smooth and fine it feels like silk below your feet. You look around. You are on the banks of a wide, pale blue river that glows with its own soft light. There is no sun, No moon overhead, yet everything is lit gently, as if the world itself is breathing light. This is the river of unfinished echoes. A Greek spirit once told you of it, briefly. An Egyptian guide hinted at it. Snaira, the dream weaver, mentioned it in a whisper. But now, you see it. The water is crystal clear, and inside it drift pale shapes, not threatening, not ghost-like, but memories.
They began their descent on the far side of the valley ridge, their footsteps sinking into sun-warmed dunes. The air grew brighter, the sky clearer, the wind softer. Aurelian felt a strange calm inside him, the kind that comes after seeing something true, something you weren't ready for, but needed. Serene walked with a new steadiness, as if her mother's words still echoed inside her. And Helia walked like someone who belonged to the desert, but chose to walk beside them anyway. Together they moved forward, toward the stone pass, toward whatever truths awaited them next. The dunes whispered quietly behind them, and the morning sun stretched across the sky like a gentle welcome. The day had begun, and their journey deepened.
The climb was slow. The sun rose higher, painting the dunes in soft oranges and golds. Their footsteps created tiny avalanches of sand that trickled down in smooth streams. Helia moved like she'd walked this desert for centuries, light, balanced, calm. Selene followed carefully, her fingers skimming the sand for balance. Aurelian stayed close behind them, watching the long shadows shrink as the desert brightened. When they reached the top of the ridge, the world opened. Miles and miles of dunes, endless, silent, magnificent. But in the distance, far beyond the rolling waves of sand, Aurelian saw something else. A faint, dark line. Something solid. Stone. Jagged. Helia followed his gaze. Helia. The stone pass. Aurelian exhaled. Selene shaded her eyes. Selene. Will we make it before the heat rises? Helia smiled softly. Helia. If the desert allows. Before they ascended the eastern ridge, Aurelian looked back one last time. The valley shimmered softly, the warm sand glittering like powdered sunlight. White flowers swayed gently, still glowing faintly even in the rising daylight. The place felt alive, watching them, blessing them quietly. Aurelian bowed his head with unexpected gratitude. Thank you for sheltering us. Selene whispered something too, a soft farewell, a promise to remember. Helia placed her hand on the sand in a gesture of deep respect. The valley responded with one final warm breeze that brushed across their faces like a gentle goodbye. And then they left. The sun finally began to rise fully, casting long golden beams across the dunes. The valley glowed softly, the golden sand brightening as if lit from within. Shadows stretched slowly, sliding toward the west in long, elegant shapes. Aurelian watched the shifting light and felt his heart steady with the rhythm of the desert. The dunes whispered as the morning wind picked up, carrying with it the faint scent of distant myrrh. Helia stood tall. It's time to move. The desert changes as the sun climbs. We must reach the stone pass before noon. Selene frowned gently. What happens at noon? Helia looked out over the dunes. The desert begins to dream again, but daytime dreams are less calm. Aurelian felt a chill, not fear, just a heightened sense of awareness. They gathered their belongings, which were little more than their cloaks and the desert's lingering warmth inside their hearts, and prepared to leave the valley. Helia stretched gracefully, her silhouette framed against the soft light of morning. Her hair shimmered like dark gold as the first threads of sunlight touched it. Helia, you two wake early. Aurelian smiled. Aurelian, the dawn woke us. Helia walked toward them, her anklets chiming gently with each step, their sound soft enough not to disturb the valley's peace. She gazed at the rising sun with a reverence that felt ancient. Helia, Ra travels across the sky now. As he rises, the dreams retreat, and the desert returns to its waking form. Serene tilted her head. Does that mean the dream river will vanish? Helia nodded slowly. Helia, for today, yes. It hides from the sun. They all glanced toward the faint violet mist. The river was already dissolving, light thinning, whispers fading, until it resembled nothing more than dry sand. Serene touched the ground where the glowing water had been hours before. It feels warmer. It leaves blessings behind, not in the sand, but in you. Aurelian touched his chest, feeling the faint echo of his vision, that small golden sphere held by his younger self. He whispered, I don't want to lose what I saw. Helia shook her head gently. Shide. Behind him, Serene stirred. Aurelian glanced back. She blinked slowly, eyes still cloudy with sleep, her expression soft and childlike. Serene, groggy. Aurelian? He smiled gently. Aurelian, I'm here. She sat up, rubbing her eyes. Her movements were slow, the kind of slow that only comes when sleep has truly embraced someone. Serene looked around the valley, her voice barely above a whisper. Is it morning? Aurelian, barely. She took a deep breath, letting the cool dawn air fill her lungs. I dreamed of the river again. Aurelian sat beside her. Aurelian, good dreams? Serene nodded softly, her voice distant, thoughtful. Not all dreams need to be happy. Some just help you find the pieces you lost. Aurelian didn't respond. He didn't need to. The silence between them was warm, full of understanding. Aurelian rose slowly, careful not to disturb the others. He walked a few steps up the gentle slope of the valley, his feet sinking softly into the cool sand. The desert remained half asleep. The dunes held on to the last shadows of night. The sky held on to the last shimmer of stars. Thin lines of pink unfurled across the horizon, like delicate brushstrokes on a canvas. The air smelled faintly of warm sand and desert flowers. Aurelian didn't know their names, but their scent was soothing, soft and earthy, like dried lavender and sun-warmed stone. There was no heat yet, just the promise of it, gathering at the edge of the world but not yet stepping forward. The entire desert breathed slowly. Aurelian whispered into the gentle morning air. Aurelian, what will today show us? The dunes did not answer, but they seemed to shift in a way that felt almost like acknowledgement. The three sat beside the dream river, breathing slowly. The sky above shimmered, stars drifting like quiet lanterns across Nut's cosmic body. The water's whisper lulled them into a calm trance. They leaned into each other for warmth, Aurelian in the center, Serene resting on his left shoulder, Helia on his right, their breaths synchronized. The dream river hummed softly. The valley glowed faintly, and dawn began to gather behind the dunes, very slowly. I will continue the long, dreamy journey deeper into the Egyptian realm, not in a rush, not in a blaze of color, but as a quiet unveiling, a soft breath touching the horizon, a gentle blooming of light behind the dunes. Aurelian felt it first before he saw it, a faint warmth brushing his cheeks, a thin glow pressing gently against his closed eyelids, like the light of a lantern passing slowly across a wall. His breathing remained deep, slow, calm. The valley itself seemed to sleep with them. Even the dream river whispered at a lower tone, as though it too respected the fragile beginning of morning. Aurelian opened his eyes. The sky above had shifted from indigo to a pale lavender. The stars dimmed, sliding slowly into the embrace of the coming daylight, but Nut's presence remained, a protective vastness overhead. Beside him, Serene slept peacefully, her head resting against his arm, her silver hair spread like moonlit silk across the golden sand. On his other side, Hylia lay still, her breathing soft, her eyelashes flickering ever so gently as she dreamed beneath the fading constellation light. Aurelian watched them both, a quiet warmth blooming in his chest. He felt safe, and he hoped they did too. Hylia approached the river last. She knelt with calm dignity, touching the water. A flash of light, a wind. Her hair swirled around her face. Aurelian and Serene watched as her expression shifted, not sad, not frightened, but deeply thoughtful. When her vision faded, she rose gracefully. Aurelian, what did you see? Hylia closed her eyes. Her voice was soft. Hylia, a fork in the desert. One path leading forward, one path leading away from you both. Selene's breath caught. Selene, which one did you take? Hylia whispered, I chose to stay. Her eyes shimmered, not tears, but starlight reflected within them. Selene stepped forward. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the river. If it shows truths, then I want to see mine too. She dipped her hand, light ignited around her. Her breathing hitched, the world shifted. She stood alone inside a vast temple. Tall pillars. In the center sat a woman with silver hair. Shadows, echoes of prayers. Her mother. Selene's lips parted. Selene, mother. The vision woman turned, sadness and strength mingling in her eyes. Mother, you walk far, my child. Selene shook. Selene, I didn't want to leave you. The woman smiled softly, touching Selene's cheek. You walk not to leave me. You walk to become who you truly are. Selene broke into tears. Selene, will I find my place? Mother, you already carry it within you. The temple faded. Selene fell into Aurelian's arms, trembling, not in fear, but release. Hylia touched her back gently.
The boy nodded. Young Aurelian, everyone waits, even grown-ups, even you. Aurelian knelt, meeting the boy's eyes. What am I waiting for? The boy opened his hands. Inside them lay a small golden sphere, glowing faintly, pulsing softly. Young Aurelian, you forgot your light. Aurelian felt tears sting his eyes. He reached out, but the vision dissolved. Light scattering like dust, shapes fading, the ocean falling away into quiet darkness. And he was back in the desert, his hand still resting in the glowing water. Selene and Hylia watched silently. Aurelian withdrew his hand slowly. The water glowed softly, as if thanking him. Selene whispered, What did you see? Aurelian swallowed. His voice was low, barely audible. Myself, before I learned to hide everything. Hylia nodded gently. The river doesn't lie. It shows the truths we forget.
Aurelian stared at the water. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel lost. He felt seen. Not by others, but by himself.
Serene climbed the slope softly, rubbing her eyes. Her hair was tousled, but her face looked more peaceful than he'd ever seen it. "Why is the sky brighter?" Helia pointed. "The dream river flows. Come see." Celine's eyes widened at the sight. "Is it safe?" "Safe enough, but it shows things you didn't ask for." Celine swallowed. Aurelio noticed the tension in her shoulders, the unspoken fear in her breath. He touched her arm lightly. "We'll go together." Celine's eyes softened, grateful. Celine climbed the slope softly, rubbing her eyes. Her hair was tousled, but her face looked more peaceful than he'd ever seen it. "Why is the sky brighter?" Helia pointed. "The dream river flows. Come see." Celine's eyes widened at the sight. "Is it safe?" "Safe enough, but it shows things you didn't ask for." Celine swallowed. Aurelio noticed the tension in her shoulders, the unspoken fear in her breath. He touched her arm lightly. "We'll go together." Celine's eyes softened, grateful.
Helia's voice floated upward from behind him. "You're awake early." Aurelian turned. She approached slowly, her steps soundless, her dark hair flowing like a shadow of the night sky. She stopped beside him, her eyes fixed on the violet glow. "What is that?" "The dream river. It rises only at night. By morning it will disappear again." Aurelian squinted. At first he saw nothing but mist. Then, slowly, a shape began to appear beneath the haze, a ribbon of translucent water winding through the sand. Not bright, not reflective, more like liquid starlight. Aurelian said softly, "It's beautiful." Helia nodded, her voice a whisper of reverence. "The dream river is Newt's gift to the desert. Those who walk beside it find visions, memories, sometimes answers." Aurelian's breath caught. "Visions?" Helia tilted her head. "Your dreams, your past, your fears, and sometimes your future." Aurelian felt the sand shift slightly beneath his feet. "And is it dangerous?" Helia smiled. Not a playful smile, a wise one, filled with ages of understanding. "Only to those who run from their truth." Her words echoed the pharaoh's memory from before. Truth doesn't judge, it reveals. Aurelian exhaled slowly. He wasn't sure if he feared revelation or if he longed for it.